Here we have the Honeycomb Aeronautical Echo Aviation Controller, which we've been wanting to get our hands on for a while. And this is basically, it's £150 gamepad specifically designed for flight sims. It has all the features on it that you would want to get into flight simulators. So you have the really nice analog control for flaps, throttle, mixture. You've got a nice rotational trim wheel. You have some nice chunky buttons down here which you could use for like parking brake or flaps or even like gear. Maybe you can set up to however you want. Really nicely as well, you have these linked rudder pedals at the bottom, so you get the option for your yaw of the aircraft with the precision, because both fingers are resting on them at the same time. Of course, you've got also the shoulder buttons here, 2 shoulder buttons on each side. It's wireless, charges through USB-C. At the moment, this is just PC compatible and iMac, but I think they do plan to do an Xbox version soonish. Yeah, I have to say, for £150, I think the build quality of it feels pretty nice. It's sort of standard for your game controller, you know, your standard Xbox style game controller. Ergonomics really nice, very similar to an Xbox 360 controller. Little bit tacky on the plastic side in terms of the surface finish. Could have had a bit more of a fancy finish. It's quite light, which personally I quite like, but I know some people might prefer a heavier controller, but I think the lightness is nice. The buttons themselves, this sort of hat button, obviously you use that for moving the camera around and changing cameras. Pretty standard for a gamepad kind of feel, not the most exciting of button actuation, but just totally standard. These are mushy buttons. The analog joystick, very similar to an Xbox 360 joystick. As I say, the actual movement and stiction of these inputs, these are actually really nice, super smooth, very easy to very precisely set the amount of throttle or whatever you want to do with them. So that's probably the standout thing in terms of feel. These actually feel really nice, very similar to what you get on nice audio equipment actually, in terms of the quality of the slider there. I think it's all using Hall effect sensors as well, so it shouldn't gum up, and even once you've spilt tea down the holes. But yeah, then you've got these top buttons as well. That's just quite nice for the menus and everything. But this is fantastic for people that want to just sit on a sofa and get in there and do some flight sim without all the equipment fuss.